President Obama says his new deficit plan is not based on class warfare. No, it is based on math. So how is it that this plan revolves around one of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett? Unless Warren Buffett is lying, how does it add up? We've talked to accountants, we've done the math ourselves, but we decided to go right directly to the source. This is a GBTV exclusive. We have Warren Buffett's secretary actually here, who apparently you pay higher taxes than Warren Buffett.
Actually, no, I don't.
You don't?
Not even close, no. That's a lie, just like the lie Warren told me when he said he was going to leave his wife when I was 21.
Really?
It's a complete lie.
Okay.
And in fact, that's not the only time we've been lying throughout this process. You know, I'm a little sick of Warren at this point. You know, I've been around for a long time. This isn't my first.
How long have you been working with him?
64 years.
64 years.
64 years.
Wow.
I've been working for him.
All right.
Yeah. And, you know, honestly, he's been telling me a lot of things, been telling American people a lot of things, and a bunch of crap, basically.
Really?
So, actually, he's lied at least 11 times on this one Buffett rule.
Okay, so that's not including the I'll leave my wife.
No, yeah, that's the 12th one.
Okay, all right.
That's coming in the
So let's go with the 11 lies that Warren Buffett has told.
Well, first of all, he's lying about the tax rate that I pay, number one. I don't pay anything close to 30%. Actually, you know, Glenn, I pay about 14.3%. That's according to CBO records of someone making $64,000 a year, which is what he says I make, which honestly is inflated. I don't really make that much. He skims a little bit off the top. How do you think he got so rich?
But you get, but you get a little something extra on the side?
I give him a little bit something extra on the side. You know, when you, I mean,
he's got good taste in women.
Well, thank you very much, Glenn. I appreciate that.
Okay. So anyway, you don't make that much money.
I do not. I do not make. Well, I don't pay that much.
Okay. All right.
So I do not pay 30%, about 14.3%. How about this? He's comparing two different taxes. See, he's earning taxes on something that it's not like income, like most people, like you or I earn it. He's earning it on capital gains. That's taxed at a lower rate. But it's just like comparing. It's like saying that Warren Buffett pays less for sales tax than a secretary pays in income tax. They're two different taxes at two different rates. It makes absolutely no sense.
All right.
Number three, he's already been taxed on that money. He earned the money and was taxed the full rate of 35%. And then afterwards, he invests it, makes a profit off of that, and that's taxed at a lower rate.
You sound a little bitter.
Well, you know, I have worked 60 hours a week for 64 years.
Right.
You know what I get out of that?
Right.
I get I have a suite at the Days Inn where he meets me. It is a suite, but it's nothing special. The Days Inn in Omaha, it's not that great.
Right.
And, you know, yeah, do they leave some wine in there? Yeah, but it's boxed wine. It's nothing, you know, I'm just saying. Number four, he is the exception of the rule of the mega rich. You know, he's making 90% of his income from investments. The average mega rich person is only making 38% of their income from investments. So the rate is much higher for those people. Not to mention, you know, one of those other guys that's only making 38% probably would be a little bit more generous on secretary stack.
Right.
You know what?
Okay.
Maybe they would.
Well,
that's another one. Number five, his secretary, me, is an exception to the rule of secretaries. I mean, at least on paper, he pays me $60,000 a year, which is actually higher than the $33,000 average. And the thing about that is, that means the average secretary is really paying about a 10% effective rate. You'll notice that's lower than 30%, but that's what Warren does. He lies. He lies to me and he lies to everyone else. Number six, rich people pay more than the middle class. You know, the top 10% of taxpayers pay 73% of all taxes, and the bottom 51% of taxpayers pay 0% of all taxes. 0%. 0% matches up to the Christmas present I got last year from Warren Buffett, which was 0. I got nothing from Warren. You know why? His wife was home. That's why. That's why.
All right.
Number seven is
really
rich
not
people.
Good.
What?
Yes, go ahead.
Number seven, rich people already carry the more of the burden. I just explained a lot of that, but it also goes back to this one here, where rich people pay 29% tax on average, and the middle class pays about 15%. It's almost double. How about this one? The Buffett rule has nothing to do with wealth. It has nothing to do with multimillionaires. What it has to do with is professional investors. Because you could be making 50 grand a year and still get that same rate. If you're making 90% of your money from investments, you're going to pay that rate no matter how much you make, whether you're paying 50 million or 50,000. And honestly, someone with 50,000 would probably be a little bit more generous with Christmas presents. I'm just saying. How about number 9? The Obama rule doesn't even target people like Warren Buffett. That's an interesting one. It's interesting how really rich people like Warren, who I thought loved me, is a guy who just finds a way to target himself without targeting himself.
How do you mean it doesn't apply to people like Warren Buffett?
Well, it's pretty interesting because you have a let me give you the details. I have the stats here. So let's talk about the actual rates. I told you that they're already paying higher rates.
Yeah.
But if you break it down and you go down into the numbers, you will find that there is some room to complain here. What it is people who make 7 digits get totally screwed compared to people who make 8 digits. You pay a slightly lower rate if you're making over $10 million a year than you do than, say, you're making $1 million a year. So really the problem lies in that the 7-digit person is getting screwed compared to the 8-digit person. That problem is legitimate, I'm sure, though no 7-digit person is actually complaining about it. But the funny part about it is Obama's rule starts at $1 million, the exact rate in which you're paying already more than the person making $10 million. So it's actually targeting the people getting screwed by this problem the most. Just like I got screwed by Warren on Easter.
All right. Okay. All right.
Let's go. How about
last two quickly?
Number 10, rate on investment should be lower than the normal rate. It should. It creates investment, and it creates people who are actually job creators are dishing the money out. Does this not seem credible for some reason at this point?
You have a strange... you look a lot like my producer, Stu, who's a man.
You know, that is incredibly rude.
I didn't mean it that way. I meant that you look very mannish.
I got these done, and I think it makes me look
It does.
quite
Did he
feminine.
pay for those?
What's that?
Did he pay for those?
He said he was going to, and then all of a sudden his tax rate must have gone up a little bit because he didn't come up with the money, did he?
Right. Okay.
Last one, lowering the capital gains tax equals more revenue. Let me quote the hardcore right-wing Charlie Gibson for you, because you know he's a right-winger, right? Charlie says, hey, guess what? You said to Obama, I certainly would not go above what existed under Bill Clinton, which was 28%. It's now 15%, and that's almost doubling it if you went to 28. But Bill Clinton actually lowered it from 28 to 20, and Bush dropped it to 20 to 15. And, quote, in each instance when the rate drops, revenue for the tax increased. And when they raised the tax in the 80s, it decreased. The bottom line is this has nothing to do with actually bringing in more money or helping the economy. 10 and 11 prove that. The truth is, he just wants to vilify people, and he's taking it out on Warren Buffett, which that's the only part of this I feel good about.
Well, why are your earrings attached to your hair and not your ears? Look, I don't know who's telling the truth here. I think she has an awful lot of credibility, but it could be just her good looks. Back in a second.
GBTV. The truth lives here.